All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We're excited to kick off our Modernizing Data Warehousing and Data Analytics webinar. My name is Rachel Lynch. I'm a marketing manager with DLT Solutions. And with me, I have some representatives from both Informatica and Tableau. We have Duncan Hall, who is a Department of Labor account manager with Informatica, Mike Snodgrass, who is a Department of Labor Solutions architect with Informatica, and then we also have Paul Rower, a DOL account manager with Tableau, and Joel Hutchison, who's also a Department of Labor Solutions architect with Tableau. Next, just to get us started, to give you guys a little bit of a preview of what you're going to be seeing this afternoon is just a brief agenda. We will have the welcome, which I'm doing right now. We are going to head into a challenges slide and then an Informatica overview, a live demonstration where you guys will not only be able to see how Informatica and Tableau operate on their own, but also how they seamlessly integrate. And then we'll wrap up with a brief Tableau overview and a Q&A. So to get us started, actually, Duncan Hall is going to kick us off. So Duncan, take it away.
Great, thanks Rachel. So as Rachel said, my name's Duncan Hall and I'm the account manager here at Informatica, covering many of our civilian agencies. And this is what we're here to talk about today. So challenges with data analytics modernization. And so first, why is this important? Data warehouses need to constantly evolve to keep up with rapidly changing business processes and technology. Essentially, raw data needs to be accessed and transformed into clean, accurate, context and stakeholder-driven information that is easily accessible and delivered securely at any speed. And so why do we do this? I mean, the first challenge is that management or business leaders need information to make sound, smart decisions. And so, what makes that difficult is, as we like to refer to as the 3 V's here at Informatica, the ever-increasing velocity, volume, and variety of data. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about what that means on the next slide. Lastly, there's challenges with ensuring data quality, integrity, and governance across all sources of data. And so in addition to that last bullet point, number 2 there, the volume in data that is trending here by 2020, 15.3 zettabytes per year in global data center traffic. I'm not sure, I don't know what that means. The amount of new users, new types of data in the cloud, and machine learning and AI that we see being deployed today and exponentially growing here in the next few years. And so this is Informatica. Informatica is the #1 enterprise cloud data management platform. So we support over 7,000 organizations all across the globe. We're deployed in the cloud, on-premise, in hybrid environments. And as you'll see there, a bullet point that I'm really proud of is the amount of spend on an annual basis that we put into our research and development. And so you'll see here, this is what we offer. This is the Informatica platform. So in the middle there, where to the left you'll see products. These are our core capabilities, what we refer to as the 6 core modules of the intelligent data platform. And so you'll see data integration, ETL. This was our foundation, was data integration, and from there through innovations and acquisitions we've expanded the platform to include what you see to the right there, like big data management tools, cloud data management tools, data quality. So if you need to clean and filter and match and merge your data, we have the best tools in the industry to do that. Master data management tools and data security tools. And so these core capabilities are sort of like light switches that can be leveraged individually or together. They're seamlessly integrated. And up top in the gray boxes, you see solutions. And so as you start to combine different core capabilities and different modules, we can create these solutions for our customers. Today, what we're going to be focusing on primarily is the third gray box to the right where it says Enterprise Information Catalog. And so Mike here in a second is going to walk you through a demo of Enterprise Information Catalog, which is just a fraction of the capabilities that the platform provides. And as you'll see here, those core capabilities, the different modules of our platform, those light switches that can sort of be turned on and off and are also fully integrated, this is where they stand as individual products, regardless of the integration, in the industry. And so the six categories there you see are Enterprise Information Platform as a Service, or Cloud Data Integration, our data integration tools, Master Data Management Solutions, Data Quality, Big Data Management, and Metadata Management Solutions. And these are some of our private sector customers who, through the use of the Informatica Intelligent Data Platform, overcame many similar data management challenges that we're going to discuss today. And here's a few federal use cases where they leveraged Informatica to, again, overcome some similar challenges. And if anyone wants to discuss, any of these in more detail, I'm happy to set up a phone call or a meeting with you after the webinar, and we can do that. But today we're here to do the demo. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Snodgrass, who is our Federal Solutions Architect for Informatica, to discuss and show you a demo on how we help modernize data analytics for the federal government.
Great, thanks Duncan. Again, my name is Mike Snodgrass. I'm going to talk about our solution here to modernizing data analytics, data warehousing. And the solution here really consists of two parts. We're going to talk about modern data integration along with agile business intelligence is the solution to modern data analytics and data warehousing. And you'll see a demonstration today of something we call self-service analytics as part of that solution. But what we're providing here that is unique to the market is this semantic layer across all of an agency's data so that we can provide a better understanding of what data is out there. This is going to help with modernizing the data warehouse platforms. People can visualize their data in Tableau, and they can use Informatica and the semantic layer to find and manage all those data sets. So you're going to see an example here how Informatica will be able to pull in the data through data integration across all of the different organizational silos, and how we provide enterprise data management and ETL functions to support this semantic layer and how we enable self-service analytics. So as you know, both Informatica and Tableau are market leaders in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for what we do. And the demonstration today will show you how we can take a modern data integration platform and combine it with a modern data visualization platform to have this approach to self-service analytics. A little bit about our platform. When you see the demonstration today of the Informatica software, really the enterprise data governance concept is what enables this semantic layer and drives the data management behind the scenes to power self-service analytics. You're going to see how our software will provide data discovery. It will help you determine the right data assets in your agency that you need to visualize. It will give you smart suggestions and recommendations for other related data assets. There's going to be some relationship lineage discovery that you can use. And again, our platform is going to look across all of the different data sources in your agency. It could be relational data, it could be unstructured data, it could be data in the cloud, data on premise, or big data as well. So this is just a piece of our Informatica platform. Now, when we talk about the challenges of analytics, a lot of times we see our customers saying, hey, I spend a lot of time just trying to find my data. I want to spend more time analyzing the data and less time finding that. So there'll be challenges such as you can see on the slide. How do I get the data faster? How do I know does it have the right context? Can I trust this data? Do I really have the right data sets? So really, how can you enable this self-service analytics while ensuring data integrity and governance is really the solution that we're going to provide here. But we see a lot of these business challenges. And on the next slide here, you'll see our response to these challenges that people have with modern analytics is through this concept that we have called an enterprise information catalog. So think of an enterprise information catalog as a card catalog of all of the metadata of an agency's data sets. So it can be ERP applications, it can be databases, it can be documents, cloud sources, ETL type products. We take all of that metadata of all those different data sources and we put it in a card catalog. And that's what you're going to see in the demonstration today. This enterprise information catalog is going to help reduce the time it takes an analyst to find the right data sets. And the less time they take finding the right data sets, the more time they can spend analyzing that data. So the enterprise information catalog is kind of the solution to those business challenges. And here's what we'll see in the demonstration today. We're really providing a solution that takes all of the data sources within an agency and we scan automatically those data sources and pull that metadata. We're going to load that into our enterprise information catalog, and that's going to then directly feed Tableau. We're going to use our data management functions to find all those data sets and automatically load into Tableau. So this is the context for the demonstration. So at this point, we'll jump right into the presentation, into the demonstration. Okay, so on the screen you can see Informatica's Enterprise Information Catalog. The context that I'm going to use for the demonstration today is that of a data analyst. I spend a lot of time visualizing my data and I want a better way to find the right data sets that I need in my analysis. I want to reduce the amount of time it takes me to find the data. So I log into Informatica's Enterprise Information Catalog. And the first thing that I see is a Google-like search page here that is scanned all of the data assets in my agency. So here I can see we've scanned 3,500 different data assets from 20 different resources. Think of this as Google for your entire agency's data. So the data that I want to look at today is, it comes from our call center at the agency. I want to make sure that I've got the right call records for a certain time period for all of the customers that call into the agency. Now I'm not even sure where our call data is, so I type in the word call in the Google search, and just like Google, it will fill in, auto-suggest, a lot of different data assets that we have. So I'm going to look across my agency for anywhere that I can find call center data. So now I get about 200 resources here that have some kind of call data inside. And I can filter those data sets like I'm shopping in Amazon if I wanted to down select on certain information. But you can see here that the Informatica platform has pulled in lots of different assets. We pulled in information from Oracle, from SAP. We've got files of data. We've got tables of data. We're connected to all the different types of data that are out there. And for my call center data, I know it originally resided inside the mainframe. So I'm going to go click on Application Source, and I'm going to choose mainframe as the set of data that I want to look at. So now I've got a much smaller result set. I've got two sets of data that came from the mainframe, and I'm going to click on one of the ones that comes up, this a table called CDR Detailed Recs. Now because we've scanned all of these data assets in the agency, I've got a lot of that metadata here to look at to help me understand if I'm finding the right data sets. I can see some technical attributes about the data. I can see the columns that are inside the table. I've been able to associate business terms and data domains here. It's helping describe that data to see if I've got the right data set. So I can look at this and say, hey, it looks like I've got some call data, when they call, the call length, the call charge. This might be the right data set, but I'm not sure. So I do a little bit more research here, and I can see that someone has put a business description here of this data set. And if I look at this, it says that these are the call detail records for all of our customers, but it's a very large data set, performance issues expected. So it looks like I'm pretty close to the right set of data, but someone's gone out of their way to note that this is a very large data set. This might be something that's going to choke the system if I go and pull this into Tableau. So this may not be the correct data set, but I think I'm close. So the Enterprise Information Catalog will also provide a way to link all of the data together. So here I can see how this data set, the lineage of that, where it came from, where it went to. So if I scroll up on the screen here, I can see that this data set looks like it came from Oracle. It went into our data lake, and then it ended up inside of an SAP Business Objects report. So we've automatically created this lineage as part of our machine learning artificial intelligence to help the analyst find the right set of data. So I'm giving, the system is giving me the context of this data, and this is going to help me determine if it's the right data set. And I can get very granular here. I can expand this relationship out a little bit and look, and I can see that looks like the data came from Oracle, went into the data lake. There's a couple other steps that it takes before it gets loaded into those reports. So here I can expand out that lineage to help me find other related data sets. And so here's a couple other steps in the lineage of some other tables that we've used to load. And so here I can see it looks like it might be an aggregated table. So I've used that lineage that the Enterprise Information Catalog has determined for me to help identify related data sets. So I'm going to click on this data set and investigate that a little bit. So now here I can see a little bit of that lineage, right? It came from, from these tables in Oracle. Again, it went into that report. And when I look at the asset details for this table, I can see, again, some more information about the fields. Here I've got some total calls. I've got a customer ID and the total charge, the total minutes. I have it split up by evening. This might be a decent set for me to analyze. But let me look at that business description that I looked at from the other table. Here I can see that this is an aggregated data set for all of the call transactions from the prior year. There's no warnings about this data set being, too large to analyze. And if I scroll down here, I can see that someone has certified this data set. The trust rating is now set to certified. So now I've found a call set, a part of the data that I need has been certified. There's no warnings to it. And I found this data set by seeing how it was related to the other data sets. So it looks like I'm partway there. I've used the Enterprise Information Catalog to find, an aggregate table here with all of my call center data. And so I know this is going to be something that I'm going to load into Tableau and visualize. But it looks like I'm missing some information. I've got a customer ID, but I don't have any information about the customer. Who's related to this customer ID? This is some other stuff that I want to look at inside Tableau. So when I click on the Relationships tab here, I can see the table that we're talking about, the aggregate table, and all the other related information. So here I can see that there's other users in the system that are using this data. If I wanted to contact Tim Smith on this, I could do that to get better information. So here's all the people using it. Here's some of the data domains here as part of our data dictionary. It's part of our official customer ID. And we've got some related business terms in here. And we also see some related tables that are, have some information related to this aggregate table that we've got. And so here I see some customer master information, and maybe that's something that might be valuable in looking at. So when I look at that related table, I see that I've got a customer ID in that table, but now I can see I've got the first name of the customer, the last name, their address, their state, their location information. I've got some more customer master information. And if I take that set of information and I combine it with my customer aggregate table, then I know I've got the right data sets. So now I take these two data sets and now I can use the Informatica data management platform to automatically send those over to Tableau for me. I can automate the translation and sending of that data over to Tableau to use. But I'm really happy with the Enterprise Information Catalog because I found those two data sets really quickly. In just a matter of a few minutes, I found the data sets. In the past, this might take me a couple weeks. I would have to call IT. They would send me a spreadsheet. I'd have to try to see if where did this data come from. So Enterprise Information Catalog, the Informatica platform, did all that hard work for me, scanned all my data assets, and provided this card catalog of data so that I can quickly find the right data sets that I need. And then I can use those in Tableau. So that concludes the Informatica demonstration, and we'll turn it over to Tableau to take the next steps.
All right, so we've got what you're looking at here is Tableau Server. So what happens with the handoff between Informatica and Tableau is that at the end of what Mike was showing us, he actually showed us an ETL process where that data, that call center data that we collected on the Informatica side, is actually passed over to Tableau in the form of a Tableau data extract. And that shows up as a published extract. So let's take a look within Tableau and see what that looks like. So I'm in Tableau Server now. We have our various projects which contain the visualizations, but also up here we have our data sources towards the top. So I come into my data sources and it lists out all the different data sources, whether they be live connections to the underlying databases or online systems such as Salesforce. But I also have extracts in here as well. And if I scroll down, we see we have our call center data here. And this came in the form of an extract that was loaded up. You can see the date there, November 30th, so today. I can come in here and take an extra look at this from the Tableau side. On the details tab, we actually have this new feature in Tableau allowing us to certify the data. So Mike has gone through the prep work of actually finding this data. He's published this out to Tableau Server in the form of an extract. We want to make sure that the rest of the users that come into Tableau can leverage this as a certified data source. They can actually come in and see Mike's comments. Maybe Mike would say something like, Mike has certified this for use. We're going to go ahead and say, let's certify this. And what this does is it gives us an indicator. If we come back into our data sources back here, we can actually see we now have this little certification icon. We can see the comments from the last person who certified it. And we have confidence that now when we're on the Tableau side, we're actually picking up the right form of data. Let's see what else we can do with this. So on the Tableau side, we're going to go ahead and click this. We're going to come into here and actually say we want to create a new workbook. So from Tableau Server, similar to how you can operate in Tableau Desktop, we have a very similar interface where we can actually create visualizations right here from a web browser. So here we're looking at that call center data that's been prepped for us. We have all the same fields that were loaded up as part of that extract. And I can simply come in here and start working with them. Maybe I want to click on my states. Now I get a geographic view of all the different states where I have data. And I can drag out something like the number of calls onto my color palette. And if you're familiar with Tableau, what we're seeing here is the same type of interface for creating visualizations that you would expect if you were working in Tableau Desktop. So you have a very similar look and feel. We can quickly hover over states to see where the majority of our calls are coming in from California, from Texas. So this is great, but we want to create a dashboard that really reflects what this data has in it and draw out the insights. So if I come back here, let's take a look at what we have as far as workbooks. And we've put together a workbook for what this call center data looks like. So let's take a look at that real quick. So here we have a very polished view of that same data that came out, that was prepped for us on the Informatica side and then pushed over to Tableau in the form of an extract. And this really gives us a nice view, a clean view of our call volumes by month. So we can see up here at the top, we're looking at our call volumes. We have the days broken out by weekdays in blue, weekends in orange. We can see the spikes and valleys as we're looking through this month. If we scroll down a little bit, we can see, again, a geographic view. We can hover over the various cities, and we can actually see how many calls were coming in from each city. And then here on the right, we have a heat map where we can see the hour of the day, as well as which day of the week it was and where the hotspots are as far as the number of calls at the intersection. Now, all of this is interactive when we're looking at it from a web browser as we are here. We could also access this from a mobile device. We can go ahead and click on, for instance, Austin, and our visualizations are updated to reflect what's going on in Austin. You'll notice all the different visualizations change here. And if we scroll up to the top, we actually see click on that again. We'll click on Sacramento this time. We actually see that the number of calls there has reduced down to 15,658 for Sacramento, and we have the month of October. And we can also flip over here with this smart filter. We can take a look at what our data looks like for the month of November. So this is a great dashboard, and it does look very polished, but one of the benefits for Tableau is not just being able to create dashboards, but to do it in a very rapid and easy fashion. So a strength of Tableau's is being able to replicate something like this very quickly. And now that we have more time, thanks to finding this data in Informatica, we can actually spend more time in Tableau. So let's take a look at how we would do this within Tableau. So this is our Tableau desktop. We have two products, Tableau Desktop, which is primarily used as an authoring tool. And then we have Tableau Server, which we just looked at, which is our server-based product, which allows you to enforce governance around your data. It allows you to collaborate, share those visualizations all through a browser or through a mobile device. So from desktop, on the left-hand side, we have all of our different data sources that we connect to. And in this case, we're actually going to connect to Tableau Server. If you remember, Mike has actually gone through the process of finding that data for us, that call center data. It came out of the mainframe. He went through the process of setting up that ETL to load it directly into Tableau Server in the form of a Tableau data extract. So now if I come here and I click on Tableau Server, you'll notice I get a view of the different data sources that exist on my server that I have access to. And I can see here, there's that call center data that was refreshed earlier today, and it's been certified. I can see the same certification note that we just put in a moment ago, and I know this is the data I want to work with. I can go ahead and hit update, and there's the data coming back into me from that extract. So now let's go through the process of actually creating some quick visualizations. So we're going to start off here on our first sheet, and we're going to create that call volume that we saw back on our dashboard. So we're going to grab our call date. We're going to drag this out to their column shelf. I'm going to specify the day. And then we're going to grab our same with the call date, and we're going to drag it again but to our column sheet. And we're going to specify a continuous hour. All right, so we've got some data out here. Let's make sure we put a filter on here so we're not working with several different months. We'll drag a quick filter out here. We'll specify we only want to look at the month of October and hit apply. And let's clean up our captions here and headers. So we'll go ahead and remove the headers. And now let's grab the total number of our calls. And we're going to drag that onto our rows shelf. Now we're starting to look a little bit more like a visualization. We've got that area chart that we saw earlier. Let's clean this up a little bit more, and we'll grab our number of calls again. And we'll create, the first one will be a line chart, and the second one, area chart. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a dual axis here. That gives us that nice little extra color on the top of our area chart. And we're going to go ahead and synchronize our axes real quick, and then we'll hide our headers to make this a little bit cleaner. All right. So if you remember back to the dashboard, we actually had different colors for our weekdays. So we have a flag out here called weekend flag. And let's just take a quick look at this, which is simply looking at which day of the week it is and specifying whether it should be a weekend or a weekday. So we can now drag that flag out here and place it on the color. And back that out and actually place it on the area. And now we have those weekends and weekdays actually called out as part of our visualization. So at this point, we're happy with this visualization. Let's move on to a map. So we'll come in here to the next sheet. And we have a blank sheet here. To start us off, we'll actually double click our state. And by doing so, it's going to drop in an individual dot here for each one of our states where we have data. We're going to switch this over real quick here to a map so we can actually see the map. You'll notice we have latitude up here at the top. So let's actually make this a dual axis similar to what we had on the last visualization. And by dragging latitude up there twice onto the road shelf, we now have two maps. We're going to actually expand on this. On the second axis, we're going to pull out our cities here, and then we're going to, again, mark this as dual axis, and then we have our cities on top of our map. To make this a little bit more interesting, again, we'll go back to our number of calls, and we'll drag that out to our color. And then we'll increase the size. We're actually going to set that number of calls to actually be the size as well. And then we'll just set the color palette that we want here real quickly. All right, so that looks very similar to what we were looking at earlier. We've got those hot spots over here in Sacramento, Austin, down here in Miami, as well as up here in Washington, D.C. So this looks good. We're good with our map. Not too hard to put that together. So let's go on to the next visualization and look at the call volumes by the weekday. So for this one, again, we'll be working with our call date time. We're just going to drag that out to our filter shelf to start us off. And we're going to filter this down again to our months. We're going to put that on October. And we're going to grab our call date time again. And we're going to move this to our column shelf here. And we're going to, again, select our day call date time. Let's put our weekday name out here as well. Now let's grab our call date time one more time, and we're going to drop it here onto our row shelf. And we're going to specify our hours. And then we have that breakout, if you remember what it looked like earlier, of all of the different days as well as our hours. So we'll just format this up a little bit. Get rid of our headers there. Come in here and format these guys to make sure we see AM and PM. All right. This is great, but we don't actually have our metrics on here. So let's come back and we'll grab our number of calls again, and we'll drag this out to our color shelf. And again, we'll come back in and we'll switch our color palette to match the one we're using. If you've noticed throughout the presentation, we do like our oranges, so we'll make sure we're incorporating oranges as much as possible. All right. So we've got 3 different visualizations under our belt. Hasn't been more than 5 minutes. Let's throw in our quick summary slide here, or summary information. So we'll grab first our measure names, and we're going to drag that to our column shelf. And we'll grab our measure names again to our filter shelf. And we only want, we want our call length and the number of calls. Apply. We want to also filter back down to that single month we wanted to look at, which is just October. So again, we're dragging our call date time out there, filtering down to October. And then we're going to grab our measure names here and place this on text. All right. So make sure this is set to text. There we go. And then we'll quickly come in here and format these. So we'll set this, maybe this font can be a little bit bigger, call attention to it. And we'll format these ones as well. And I'll just set these to be maybe even a little bit bigger at 16. All right, so now we have a nice view of our summary data. The last step is simply to put this all together. So I've got, the icons that we saw earlier for Informatica and Tableau already put out here. And that's all I put together ahead of time. So now we're going to grab, we're going to start off with our call volumes. I'll drag that down here to the bottom. And then we get to see those. And let me clean up those headers. We don't want to see those. Get it a little bit neater. Next, we'll remove out this. We know which days are our weekdays and weekends. Save some real estate. We'll grab our map and we'll put that underneath our call volumes. And then we'll grab our calls by weekday. And again, we'll get rid of some of this extra information just to save some room. I'll go ahead and close this. rid of the title. All right, and then we'll bring out our summary information out here. I'm actually going to go ahead and float this information to save some real estate as well. And again, we'll go ahead and hide this title. So now we have a very similar view that we were looking at earlier with the dashboard. And I could probably clean it up a little bit more, but you guys get the point. The idea is it's very easy to create a dashboard similar to what we were looking at as that finished product. And the last step I probably want to do here is click this Use as Filter button. And then when we click on a state, we can actually see what, or an individual city, we can actually see what's going on within that city. So very easy to turn on and make this an interactive dashboard. So we're happy with our dashboard. The last step here would be to publish this back up to Tableau Server. We can go ahead and say publish the workbook. Let's say call center analysis, and that's great. And we'll go ahead and hit publish. Publishing is very quick and easy. As you can see here, it only takes a couple seconds. When it's done, it actually brings us back into Tableau Server where we can see our finished product. And I want to do one more thing for you guys before we pass it on here. I want to come back to the data sources. And if you remember, we were only looking at October and November data, but it's very easy to come back in here and say refresh extracts. So I can click on that data center, that call center data, and say go ahead and do a full refresh. Now this could be scheduled on the Informatica side and automatically pushed over to Tableau. Or as you saw, I have the ability right within here to actually say I want to refresh that extract as well. Now if we come back in here and take a look at our dashboard, those dashboards which have already been created. Back in here. Let's take a look at this. The dashboards don't need to change in order to get the up-to-date data. So you'll notice, looks like the data is probably still loading, but within here, at this point, we only have October and November. But once the data is completely loaded in here, I think I'm loading up about 400,000 rows. We would see the updated data immediately within here. Let's go back to our data sources real quick while we're waiting for that. So it did say it kicked off and finished at 2:38. So we should be seeing the new data. Let's go back into here. Just take another look at it. And now we have December data. So it loaded up about 340,000 extra rows, and now we have the latest data. So once you've found that data in Informatica, you've pushed that extract over through an ETL process, made it available in Tableau, and certified it, it's very easy to then incrementally refresh that data as needed. So this kind of gives you the end-to-end picture of how you would work with both Informatica and Tableau. All right, I'm going to end it there.
All right, thank you, Joel. We just saw an example of Tableau's mission in action. We help people see and understand their data. We believe people are your strongest asset, and this drives the enterprise platform we deliver today. Tableau is a platform that people love, and these are just a few examples of customers who are changing their organizations by empowering their people with data. A little bit about why we do what we do. We believe in unleashing human ingenuity. We believe people are smart, creative, and want to have an impact. And Tableau has always been focused on one thing, and that's people. We believe that people know the data the best and are the ones that should be able to ask and answer questions about their data. And we empower people to unlock their ideas and contribute in ways they never thought possible. How we do that is we design products that put people at the center of the analytics experience. We amplify human intellect, we rely on the tenets of cognitive and visual best practices, and we release the curiosity and creative energy people already have. And what we do today is we make the enterprise standard for visual analytics platforms. It's easy to deploy, secure, manage, and scale. It empowers self-service for more impact to the business, for more people, and that means more value across the enterprise. And we deliver the speed and flexibility business users demand and the accuracy and security that IT needs. At Tableau, we have two products, as you just saw from Joel. We have Tableau Desktop, which is where you connect the data, explore and visualize data, create content, and publish to server. The second product we have is Tableau Server, and this is the visual self-service analytics platform. This is where you're going to collaborate with your peers. You're going to certify data sources. You're going to be able to web edit and iterate on visualizations and still have version control, and much more. And the one thing I want to point out here is there's no additional cost for things like data connections, mapping, or mobile. It's all these two SKUs that we're talking about in Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server. A little bit more about the Tableau platform: powerful analytics that drive better outcomes, fast adoption at scale, and for all skill sets, flexibility to leverage existing technology investments, and mission critical, it's a mission critical analytic platform. So really quickly, for powerful analytics that drive business value, advanced visual analytics. These are things we do better than anybody else: speed to insight. For fast adoption at scale across skill sets, Tableau is for everybody. It cuts across IT and the lines of business. It's intuitive and easy to use, as you saw from Joel's presentation. We want you to leverage your existing technology investment. It's designed to fit, not dictate what you do or your strategy. And we want you to be able to extract more value from those existing investments you already have. A mission critical platform, the primary point here, I think, is that governance that doesn't restrict the business. Tableau's been a leader in the Magic Quadrant for 5 years in a row, and Gartner states Tableau is the gold standard for intuitive, interactive visual analytics and an established enterprise platform. Jeff Coughlin covers leadership and management at Forbes, and he wrote an article earlier this year on the top 10 technical skills with explosive growth. And I just wanted to point out again, Tableau is the one vendor on the list that really cuts across both IT and the lines of business. So most of the other tools on this list require you to have significant IT experience and know-how, but Tableau falls into both categories with IT and the business user. So wrapping up here, when you see a beautiful analytics dashboard, we ask that you ask 3 questions. 1, who built it? Did it take an army of consultants? How long did it take? It's often said that legacy BI projects take 3 years and $3 million. As you saw from Joel's presentation, that's not so with Tableau. And lastly, can you ask the next question? Can you iterate? Do you have self-service? Do you have agility and the ability to perform data discovery? And is it intuitive for the business user to be able to use it and get that value? And with that, we'll open it up to Q&A. Rachel.
So it looks like we do have a few questions that have come through. I'm going to start with the first one. It's actually a 2-part question. So I'll read it out loud for everybody to hear, and then I will kind of turn to you guys as to who wants to take the first stab at answering it. The first question was actually about the Enterprise Information Catalog. They asked, did you have to actually copy all of the data in the agency into your solution to see how it is all connected? So let's start with that one, then I'll read the second part of it.
Sure, this is Mike. I can take that one. The Enterprise Information Catalog, you did not have to actually copy all of the data into the catalog. The Enterprise Information Catalog just pulls the metadata from all those data sources, so the data about the data. So it would scan all of those data sources and get information about each data set, but not actually copy all of the data itself. And it uses that metadata in the card catalog to help find your data, but you don't need to copy all the data. Good question.
And I think actually, Mike, in your explanation, you may have already answered the second part of it, which they said, how exactly does it know how the data sources are related? It sounds like you kind of already covered that.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Perfect. And then we had one more, again, a 2-part question. Can Informatica send the data directly to Tableau?
Yes. Yep.
And also, are the 2 products integrated?
So that's a good question. And in the demonstration we saw today, there's different product sets from within Informatica. The Enterprise Information Catalog, for example, is one of the products that's
automatically integrated with Tableau. We can send that data set directly into the Tableau server, put it into the Tableau format on the desktop. But there's also other products within our data management suite that are integrated that perform the same types of functions. So they are integrated in the sense that they can share data back and forth.
Great. Well, I think that's it. Everybody, we will be sending out the slides to those of you who are on the call today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, as you can see, we do have the contact information here for everybody who presented today. But again, you will receive this after the webinar. And thank you for joining us.